Hi there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. Today I'm going to show you how to paint this easy acrylic painting of a landscape, and it's a sunset, so we're going to be doing some nice bright colors in the background and then a silhouette on top. And I'm just going to start off by putting some paint right in the middle of the canvas, and I'm going to start with some nice warm yellow. So you want like a gamboge or a cadmium yellow, something that's not that doesn't have green undertones. You want something with a nice warm undertone. And then I'm going to start spreading that out using a oval wash brush, and that's like a flat brush that has a rounded tip. And the reason I like that is that it just kind of gives you soft brush strokes. You don't have too many lines, and it just blends really well. So a really wonderful brush when you're doing these large backgrounds. Then on my palette, I'm putting out some magenta, and I'm picking that up with the dirty brush, and that's going to help it blend into the color next door there. I'm using some crisscrossing strokes that are known as scumble strokes, and by doing that, it just helps integrate the colors. And then I'm going to bring that color down below the yellow because we're going to have a sky and a lake that's reflecting the sky. So we want whatever colors are in the sky to also be happening down below. Now I'm pulling some of that pure magenta up higher, so I pretty much used up all the yellow that was on my brush, so I don't have to worry about that contaminating into any other colors, and I am blending that in as well. Now I'm adding some violet. This is Dioxazine Violet, and I'll be adding that to the edges of the canvas to finish off the pretty that pretty sunset color. This color is really strong, so I'm putting it on its own first, and then I'll work it into the pink. If you want, you can also finish the edges of your canvas with either the colors that you use for the sky, or you can do that with black, and that eliminates a need for a frame if you just want to hang it right up on your wall, which is real cost saving. Now here I have some black paint, and I am going to kind of mix it in with the colors from the sky so it doesn't seem too harsh, and we'll be using that to do some of our silhouette areas. I don't like to use black just on its own. Just by mixing it with the purple that's left on the palette, it's really going to help it feel a little more integrated in the painting and look a little bit more professional. A tip for getting a straight horizon line is to actually mark the edges of your canvas. So if it's 3 inches from the bottom on one side, you want to mark that on the other side and then connect the points. That really makes a big difference because you can have a crooked horizon line and not realize it until you're almost done your painting. So definitely measure when you begin. When I use my brushes to paint some trees, I like to use them straight up and down. So this is a small round brush, I'd say around a number 3. And by doing this, it helps me keep a nice point and it helps me control my brush a lot better. And then when I need a thicker branch, I use it at an angle, as you could see there just a second ago. The only downside to working with my brush like that is that sometimes my hand gets in the way for filming, but learning that technique is going to be really helpful as a painter. So give it a try the next time you're doing a painting. And if you're using an easel, just keep your brush perpendicular to the surface and you'll be fine. Now to fill in a larger amount of area and keep it from getting too fussy, taking a palette knife and actually just scraping up big clumps of trees will help you get that kind of randomized natural look that nature has. So you want to kind of mix some really bold, loose strokes with some more defined areas to get a more natural look to your landscape. So don't feel like you have to paint in every leaf and every blade of grass. That's going to make it look flat. You need to have the contrast between detailed and out of focus in order to get that nice natural look. Paintings like this are so good for beginners or kids to learn how to paint because there's only a few different variables. You get to try a bunch of techniques and you're almost guaranteed to come out with a beautiful painting. I love using a palette knife for this because you can pull in tree trunks really easily just by scraping back to either the white of the canvas or the sunset colors, and it just makes it so easy. So if you've been looking for a project to start off with in acrylics, or you want to teach your kids how to paint, or maybe you're doing a class at a library or a senior center, this would be a great project for that. So keep that in mind the next time you're looking for something easy to teach somebody else. Now using a fan brush is a great way to get some texture quickly on your trees. So what I'm doing here is just loading up that fan brush with that same black paint and just kind of tapping it up and down some of the lines that I put down there to represent trees. Now try to vary your technique a little bit so they don't all look the same, because in nature you do not have a bunch of perfectly groomed identical trees. They're all going to be a little different, and they're going to be a little messy in spots, and you want to do that so that it looks really natural. Now I'm going in with a flat brush and just kind of slapdash application of paint there to fill in some of the other area. Now we're going to work on the reflection, and I'm using this flat brush to start my reflection area, but I want to leave a little, like a little just slice of that reflection color right at the shoreline, because that's going to separate the sky from the water reflection, and I just want to have that little shimmer there. It's really important, otherwise it could just kind of look like a big black blobby mess, and we don't want that. Now if you forgot to do that, you could always go in with like the back of your brush handle or a palette knife and scrape it back, but you might be scraping back to the white of the canvas and you might lose some of that color, and having that beautiful color at the horizon is so pretty. Now again, I'm just repeating those same techniques that I used in the sky, except I'm trying to make sure that my shadows match like vaguely the shapes that I have in the sky, because you know, if you've got a short tree in the sky, you're going to have a short tree reflection in the water. You've got to make sure that matches, or it's going to look weird. So that's one thing that people seem to get confused about reflections, is that it should mirror what you have above the horizon line. And if it helps you to flip your painting over and just look at what you have on the bottom and then match it up to what you have on the top, that would work out too. Do whatever works best for you. A lot of times I find that flipping it upside down or putting it on an easel and stepping away can really help you get a nice effect. Now here is where I'm going to give you some advice. I wish I had done this a little differently myself, but we're going to be putting some stars in the sky, and I wish I had done this before I put the black in. I wish I did this prior, like right after I painted the sky, but you can definitely put it in after the fact. Now I'm tapping in with a small round brush some of the bigger star clusters that I want to highlight, and you can do this all with a little round brush if you want to, or a little daughter tool, or a even a toothpick that you've dipped in white paint. But if you want to get an all over spray of stars, I highly recommend using a spattering tool. So what you do is you get some thin down white paint and you brush it on the bristles. It looks kind of like a bottle brush, and then you gently turn the handle and it just sprays a fairly controlled even coating of speckle. And that's what I'm doing just in the open areas of the sky. Now, if you get this on the trees here and there, which you will, it'll happen. You can either, if your trees were dry before you did it, you can wipe it out with a wet Q-tip. Or if your paint was still wet on the trees, just kind of dab over it after it dries with some black paint, like I'm doing here. I'm just touching up some areas where I got some stars. Now, the stars peeking through, like the tree branches on the background, that's fine. Leave those in. But if it's on top of the black, you want to cover it up or just wipe it off if your trees were dry. I really like this look. I think it has some nice depth, and it was a lot of fun to paint. Just try, experiment, and have fun. Remember, it's just paint. If you don't like it, you can always paint over it. And tipping it, you can kind of see how vivid these colors are and how pretty it turned out. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope you give it a try. Please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed these easy projects. Until next time, happy crafting!